Our friend Van Hartnett has been sick. For those of you who know Van, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but some of you don't know him, and some of you are guests. Van is an active member here in our church. His wife is our children's minister. Van has been sick with a terrible, terrible liver disease for the last 10 years, and it's just been getting worse and worse. And over the last couple of months, I tell you, I thought I was planning Van's funeral, to tell you the truth, and was already thinking through what I was going to say. And a month ago, I guess it was about a month ago, 3 weeks ago maybe, I was out in the parking lot greeting people as they came into Sunday school, and I noticed Van's car was running. I went over and looked in the window, and he was in it, laying out flat. You know, he needs a transplant, and a liver transplant, a terrible liver disease, and to tell you the truth, I thought he might be dead. I knocked on the window, and he wasn't. Thankfully, he woke up. I was glad. The next Sunday, we were here at church, and Sandra could not get him to answer the phone at home. She knew she had left him sick, and she went home between Sunday school and this hour and found him laying out on the floor and non-responsive. And I sent Luke over there, and so you might not have seen Luke that day. He was supposed to pray, I think, and somebody else prayed, and that was why, because we were having this emergency. And so I sent Luke over there, and we thought that it was the end. So Van's been in and out of the hospital several times, and this week he was in the hospital, and it was just getting worse and worse, and he looked darker and darker. And as Good Friday came along, I was beginning to think, boy, this is really looking dark. At 8:30 Friday night, they got a phone call from a hospital over in Dallas. "We have a liver for you, if you would like to have it." He said, "Yeah." I was like, what were you going to say? So they took him over to Dallas, and yesterday I was over in his room there in Dallas, and we were waiting, sitting on pins and needles, because you never know, all kinds of bad things can go on, and bad things can happen, and things don't work out. We were sitting in that little room. It was like a tomb, sitting there in that room there on Saturday, dark in there. There was an anticipation, but not certainty. And then finally, after hours of waiting, they came, they got him, they hauled him away, and we were rejoicing. My wife, well, let me tell you, let me tell you what. This is preaching on the fly. This morning, Sandra wrote me an email, a text. She said, "Early this morning when I saw him for the first time, even with all the tubes and wires and machines, he looked so peaceful. God is so good, and I'm headed down to see him again to witness the amazing power of our Lord Jesus Christ." And I wrote her back, "What a better day than this to wake up to new life. God has blessed you and Van, but even more, God has blessed all of us by traveling this journey with you. Christ is risen." And then, as I was walking from that building to this building just a few minutes ago, I mean, doesn't she know I'm in church? Van is awake and off the ventilator and doing well. He got the perfect match for him. The doctor said A+ patients do not usually get that because they can take any. Van is a lucky man. That's what the doctor said. When I went home yesterday after seeing Van off into the surgery, and I've said goodbye to him many times. There have been 3 separate occasions when I have said goodbye to Van Hartnett, and we both thought that was the last time we'd ever see each other on this side of the world. So I went home yesterday, and Margie said, "Well, when they took him away, was he afraid?" I thought about it. I said, no, he wasn't afraid. Van believes in Easter. The last thing Van said to me as they took him away, he said, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and it's going to be Easter morning. He believes in Easter. Now, I don't know what you're afraid of today, but Easter reminds us that God is greater than your fears.